Welcome to episode number 304, where I'm talking about Ayurvedic herbs for the skin, and particularly important at the end of the hot season where there can be an accumulation of pitta or heat in the body, which can result in skin aggravations. Today I'm going to cover aloe vera, Bakuchi, Manjishtha, Neem, and rose, all wonderful Ayurvedic herbs for the skin. So please stay tuned. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. This episode is sponsored by Kerala Ayurveda. As summer increases body heat, pitta imbalances occur and can lead to skin problems. Balancing pitta is crucial for restoring skin health. Kerala Ayurveda offers a variety of traditional Ayurvedic oils and supplements specifically formulated to optimize skin health by providing the cooling and hydration needed to counteract the pitta imbalance. Every herb and formulation is grown and harvested according to ancient Ayurvedic tradition, ensuring the highest quality and effectiveness. All natural and GMO-free, Kerala Ayurveda supplements help you support skin health naturally. Visit keralaayurveda.store to explore a range of Ayurvedic herbs and formulations, and use the code ELEMENTS10KA for 10% off your first order. You'll find all that info in the show notes. Hey there, it's Colette for a solo episode today, and as the title suggests, I'm talking about Ayurvedic herbs for the skin. But before I get into the specific herbs, I want to talk about Ayurvedic view on skin, or twak, T-W-A-K, as it's called in Sanskrit. We all know that the skin is our largest organ, is covering and protecting our entire body. But did you know that the skin is developed from the mamsa dhatu, or the muscle tissue, and it's supported by the Rasa and Rakta dhatus. And Rasa dhatu is our plasma and lymph, and Rakta dhatu is our blood tissue. Now, the pitta dosha is one of the main doshas that supports the skin. And the skin is the main site of the subdosha Brajaka Pitta, which helps to maintain the skin's color, texture, temperature, and complexion. The Kapha dosha provides moisture, construction, and protection, and the skin is connected to the Vata dosha as a sense organ. Therefore, all three doshas can affect the skin. However, the Pitta dosha dominates the skin and always needs to be taken into consideration when there's any skin conditions. And we are at a time of year in the Northern Hemisphere in particular where we really need to pay attention to excess Pitta in the body. We're at the end of the hot season and there can be a natural accumulation of Pitta and heat in the body. And if this heat is not eliminated and pitta is not pacified, it can manifest in pitta aggravated skin conditions, along with many other pitta aggravations in the body. But today we're focusing on the skin. And a pitta aggravation on the skin can manifest in infections, inflammation, burning, fever, and skin that is even hot to touch. There may be painful lymph nodes, and there can be an acute progression with the condition becoming really severe and spreading fast. Pitta skin conditions can also have a reddish, maybe even greenish or bluish color to them, and there may also be a pus, and a yellow pus at that, with any infection. As we enter into autumn or Vata season, this excess heat in the body can also aggravate the Vata dosha. And a Vata aggravation on the skin can manifest in rough, dry, cracked skin, pricking pain, Skin that's dark or even black in color, and the skin may have a thick, leathery appearance. What's happening is that the excess heat from the summer, which hasn't been eliminated, is now drying out the vata dosha, and it's causing all these skin manifestations because it's aggravating vata. A kapha aggravation on the skin can manifest in weeping or oozing sores with pus. There may be edema or swelling, blocked fluid channels leading to water retention, and there could be itching also, and this is due to stagnation. Ayurveda recommends cleansing at the transition of the seasons to eliminate any accumulation of the doshas and any accumulation of ama or toxins in the body, to help prevent aggravation of the doshas and to prevent imbalances or sicknesses in the body, which are very typical during seasonal transition. Now, if you're looking for an at-home seasonal cleanse, well, I have my discounted group cleanse starting October 6th. And if that date doesn't work for you, I also offer private cleanses where you can choose your own schedule. But both the group and the private cleanse have a similar structure. They both come with a 90-minute online consultation with me so that I can tailor the cleanse to your current health status and your lifestyle. And this cleanse is holistic, so it not only includes recipes, but you're also going to get self-care practices and mindfulness practices and yoga videos and so on, and all that's tailored to you as well. A holistic cleanse is particularly important for skin health, as the skin and the mind are closely connected. And Ayurveda teaches us that the emotions are reflected on the skin, as the skin is essentially breathing prana. Underneath the skin is a layer of connective tissue, and this is where undigested emotions can accumulate, and these emotions can be reflected on the skin. So the cleanse will not only help you eliminate any accumulation of the doshas, it will also help you eliminate any accumulation of ama or toxins. It is also an emotional cleanse, helping you to release and digest any emotions trapped in the connective tissue. So for further information on the cleanse, please see the link in the show notes or just visit my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, and go to the events page. When looking at herbs for the skin, we need to consider many things, and an Ayurvedic professional will examine the presence of ama in the body, the status of your agni or digestive fire, the status of your doshas, and the status of the srotas or channels of your body, including the channel of the mind, mano, vaha, srotas, because as I just mentioned, the mind is closely connected to the skin. So you can see there are numerous considerations that must be taken into account before deciding on the right herb or herbs for your skin condition. And so please seek out advice before taking any herbs. Many of these herbs should not be taken for long periods of time. And so a professional will not only tell you which herb is best for your body and your particular condition, but also how long you should take it for, which is really important. Okay, so let's take a look at some Ayurvedic herbs for the skin, and today I'm going to cover aloe vera, Bakuchi, Manjishtha, Neem, and rose. There are many others, but these are the 5 I picked to look at today. We're going to start with aloe vera, or kumari, as it's called in Sanskrit, and that means young maiden. Aloe vera is known as a friend to women for its affinity to the skin and to the menstrual cycle. And I think we're all familiar with the aloe vera plant, which grows in dry conditions. And as we look at the energetics, you'll see that aloe is great for countering dryness because its guna or qualities are heavy, unctuous, and slimy. The rasa or taste is bitter and sweet. The virya or energy is cold. And the Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. It's balancing for all 3 doshas, so it's tridoshic. And the effect on the dhatus or tissues, aloe vera has an affinity for all 7 tissues, which makes it a great anupana. Now, anupana is a carrier vehicle for herbs, as it will carry medicines to all the tissues of the body. Aloe vera has an affinity with the following channels or srotas of the body. Rakta vaha srotas, which is the circulatory channel. Ana vaha srotas, which is the digestive channel. Purisha vaha srotas, the excretory channel, and Artava vaha srotas, which is the female reproductive channel. Its prabhava, or special effect, is on Branjaka Pitta, which helps to maintain the skin color, texture, and the temperature of the skin, along with the skin's complexion. Aloe vera possesses anti-inflammatory and antifungal properties and is used topically to treat conditions like acne, eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, fungal infections, and it's great for any eye inflammation or eye swelling. Its cooling effect on the skin is very beneficial in healing burns, heat rash, blisters, and boils, and its antibacterial properties is great for wounds, scars, and stretch marks. It's also used to lighten dark spots and reduce pigmentation. Aloe vera is rich in antioxidants, which helps it reduce wrinkles and promote collagen production. It's considered a great rasayana, a rejuvenative for the skin, the intestines, and the female reproductive system. It's taken internally also and particularly good for pacifying any pitta inflammatory conditions. The whole plant can be used, however, the outer leaf is best used externally only because it does contain a substance which can have a very intense purgative quality and which can be just too harsh for the body taken internally. So the inner gel, or the fillet or the juice, is safe to take internally and is a milder laxative. So please get advice before ingesting aloe vera. So that's aloe vera, and the next one I'm going to look at is Bakuchi, which is a small annual herb, and it has little black seeds which are kidney-shaped and known for their benefits in the case of chronic skin conditions. So let's look at the energetics. The rasa, or taste, is sweet, bitter, and pungent. The virya, or energy, is hot. The Vikpak, or post-digestive effect, is pungent. And so we know that with all these hot, pungent qualities, it's going to have an effect on pitta. So it is balancing for vata and kapha, but in excess, it will aggravate pitta. Small amounts are okay, but in excess, it will aggravate the pitta dosha. The effect on the dhatus, or tissues, it has an effect on the rasa, which is the plasma or lymph, rakta, which is the blood, and mamsa, which is the muscle tissue. And it has affinity for the following srotas, or channels: rakta vaha srotas, the circulatory channel; prana vaha srotas, the respiratory channel; and mamsa vaha srotas, the muscle channel. So we see that Bakuchi has an effect on the plasma, rasa, and the blood, rakta tissues. And as I mentioned earlier, the skin is supported by these two dhatus, by rasa and rakta. And Bakuchi has an affinity for the circulatory channel, or the blood channel, which also supports the skin. Bakuchi is a pigmenter. The oil from the seeds act as an irritant, stimulating melanoblastic cells to help them create normal pigmentation. It's very beneficial for conditions like leukoderma, which is skin discoloration, and vitiligo spots, as it helps to shrink white patches and rejuvenates the skin. It also has anti-inflammatory properties and beneficial for managing red, inflamed conditions like psoriasis, eczema, and ringworm. Applying externally can also be helpful for hair loss or alopecia. Now, as noted earlier, Bakuchi in excess can aggravate pitta, and so it's very important, again, to get professional advice on how much and how long to take it. I'm going to jump in here to tell you some very exciting news. I'm finally hosting a Ayurveda rejuvenation retreat in Bali with Dr. Sujata from Amrita Siddhi Ayurvedic Clinic. That's where I worked from 2014 to 2015. And finally, after all these years of talking about it, we're going to do a retreat together. The dates are December 4th to 10th, 2023. It's an all-inclusive retreat. You'll get consultations, Ayurvedic medicines, treatments, Ayurvedic food, and you'll be in this beautiful healing cocoon of Immerta City Ayurvedic Clinic. You can check out the video and all the details on my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. Just click on the link in the show notes or visit my website and click on the events tab. And I hope to see you in Bali in December. Next, I'm moving on to Manjishtha, which is a climbing plant, and in Sanskrit it translates to bright red, which references its red roots and its affinity to the blood. Charaka classified Manjishtha in the ancient texts as a rejuvenative, and it acts also as a detoxifier. So looking at the energetics, the rasa or taste is bitter, sweet, and astringent. The virya or energy is cooling, and the Vikpak or post-digestive effect is pungent. The guna or quality is heavy and dry, and the effect on the doshas, it's balancing for pitta and kapha, but it does aggravate vata. The effect on the dhatus or tissues, well, it affects rasa, the plasma and lymph, rakta, the blood, mamsa, the muscle tissue, and ashti, the bone tissue. And it has an affinity for the following srotas: rakta vaha srotas, which is the circulatory channel, parisha vaha srotas, the excretory channel, ashti vaha srotas, the bone channel, and artava vaha srotas, the female reproductive channels. I'm just going to stop here for a moment, because if you're listening to all these listings of srotas or channels and dhatus, I have covered this in past episodes. And in fact, I just did a whole series on the srotas or channels of the body. So please check that out. That will help you understand what I'm talking about, what I'm referring to when I'm talking about srotas. And way back, I did an episode on the dhatus as well, the tissues of the body. And particularly check out the one on the nutrition of the dhatus. That's a great one to start with for more information on the Ayurvedic perspective on the tissues of the body. Okay, so moving on with Manjishtha's affinity for the rasa and rakta dhatu, it aids in removing stagnation in the lymph and the blood. Because remember, I said it's a great detoxifier. Manjishtha is considered one of the best plasma, lymph, and blood purifying herbs, which is why it's so beneficial for the skin. Manjishtha's ability to purify, cool, and clear the blood of excess pitta, heat, inflammation, stagnation, and amor toxins makes it a wonderful herb to use in pitta-aggravated skin conditions like acne, rashes, redness, rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, and herpes. Manjishtha can be used internally and externally, and is also great for any kapha pitta skin conditions, because remember, it's balancing for pitta and kapha, but aggravating for vata. So if you have any kapha pitta skin conditions which may look like clogged pores leading to whites or blackheads, and maybe some pitta aggravation which can cause redness or inflammation with pus, then Manjishtha will really help to balance both kapha by removing the stagnation and pitta by calming the inflammation. It's also known to treat hyperpigmentation on the skin, as it can help to lower melanin levels. Manjishtha is aggravating, as I said, for the vata dosha, so not suitable for anyone with a high vata constitution or vata imbalance. And again, seeking professional advice is best. Okay, the next one I'm going to cover is Neem. Now, Neem, I'm sure most of you have heard of Neem. The Neem tree is a highly revered tree in India, and in Indian mythology, it says that when Amrita, the elixir of life, was being carried to the heavens by the devas, a few drops fell from the cup of immortality onto the neem tree, giving the neem tree its numerous healing properties. The Sanskrit name is Arishta, meaning the reliever of sickness, and it lives up to its name, and it's often called the village pharmacy because it has so many benefits. It's an anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal, antidermatic, anti-diabetic, antipyretic, anti-malarial, antioxidant, insecticidal, and has lots more benefits. And today we're looking at neem for skin conditions, but its wide variety of uses range from medicinal to agricultural and environmental, as it's an effective insecticide and fungicide in the garden, improving soil health, and it's also a great insect repellent too. So let's look at the energetics of neem. The rasa or taste is bitter. The virya or energy is cooling. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is pungent. The gunas or qualities are light and dry. And so because of that light and dry qualities, it's aggravating for the vata dosha, but balancing for pitta and kapha. The effect on the dhatus or tissues, well, it's great for rasa, again, which is the plasma or lymph, rakta, the blood, meda, the fat tissue, and shukra, the reproductive tissue. It has affinity for the following channels or srotas: anavaha srotas, the digestive channel; raktavaha srotas, the circulatory channel; pranavaha srotas, the respiratory channel; mutravaha srotas, the urinary channel; and shukravaha srotas, the reproductive channels. So here we also see that neem has an effect on the plasma or rasa and the blood, the rakta tissues. And earlier I mentioned that the skin, again, is supported by these two dhatus. The skin is supported by rakta and rasa. So it's really beneficial to the skin. And due to its qualities, it's very effective with aggravated pitta and rakta inflammatory skin conditions with symptoms of burning, redness, itching, bleeding, acne, infections, eczema, psoriasis, and ringworm. Neem can help to prevent skin diseases, alleviating fever and burning sensations and healing wounds with its dry quality and antibacterial properties. It purifies the blood, which promotes healthy skin and a clear complexion. Now, neem is also beneficial for intestinal inflammation, like ulcers, hyperacidity, colitis, Crohn's disease. It's used in conditions where aggravated pitta and kapha, as it helps to clear the mucus and bleeding in the gastrointestinal tract. Neem can be taken internally and put on the skin externally as a paste or oil. However, it's a very strong and very bitter herb, and so it should not be taken for long term in high doses. So again, please consult an Ayurvedic practitioner for advice. Okay, the last one I'm going to cover today is rose. Rose in Sanskrit is called satapatri, which means many petals, and it's the petals which have an affinity for the blood, heart, emotions, and nerves. Let's look at the energetics of rose. So the rasa or taste is bitter, pungent, and astringent. The virya or energy is cooling. The Vikpak or post-digestive effect is sweet. The gunas or qualities are dry and light. Its effect on the doshas, tridoshic, pacifying for all three. And the effect on the dhatus or tissues, it's good for rasa, which is the plasma and lymph, rakta, the blood, maja, the nerve, and shukra, the reproductive. And its affinity for the following channels or srotas: raktavaha srotas, the circulatory channel; majavaha srotas, the nerve channel; artavavaha srotas, the female reproductive channel. As I said, rose is pacifying for all three doshas and has a particular balancing effect on sadhaka pitta, the subdosha pitta. Sadhaka pitta is located in the heart and transforms sensations into feelings and emotions. Emotions like love, compassion, understanding, sharing, and caring. However, when sadhaka pitta is aggravated, it can bring feelings of hatred, jealousy, anger, and selfishness. Rose pacifies sadhaka pitta, soothing the heart, calming the emotions, and promoting love and understanding. And as I mentioned before, the skin reflects the emotions. Take, for example, a simple one. When a person gets angry, they may flush red. That's just a very simple example of how our emotions are reflected on the skin. And if there's any undigested emotions or aggravated pitta resulting in heated emotions, then this can manifest in skin aggravations. And we may particularly notice these heated emotions and skin aggravations during the pitta stage of the menstrual cycle, which is the final stage before the start of our cycle, and especially at the end of the hot season, as I referred to earlier, when there's a natural accumulation of heat in the body, which is why it's important to manage the heat in the body at the end of the hot season in particular. But the cooling energy of rose pacifies pitta and inflammation. So it's great for inflammatory skin conditions and particularly inflammation around the eyes which are the organ of pitta. Rose water can be great to relieve eye burning and eye strain. Spraying rose water on the face is also really cooling and soothes any redness or burning on the skin. It's very hydrating and it helps in slowing down the signs of aging, and its astringent quality tightens the pores. Of course, there are many forms in which to use rose, like in rose powder, capsules, leaves, creams, oils, and my favorite, rose tea. So rose is a really great one, of course, beautiful smelling one to use during the hot season. So there you go. There are just some of the Ayurvedic herbs which have a particular affinity for skin health. And of course, there's many more. And as I've been like a broken record throughout this episode, but I really want to emphasize, please get professional help before taking any herbs. Don't buy them off the shelf. Really make sure that you're getting good advice and education on why you're taking them, how long you're taking them for, and what benefit they're going to have for you. So it can be an educational experience as well. If you want support on your Ayurvedic journey, please check out my online services. I offer online consultations where I will put a strategy together for your diet, lifestyle, self-care, mindfulness practices, help you maintain balance, prevent illness, and of course, address any current imbalances you may have and suggest herbs if necessary. Also, the Digestive Reset Cleanse. I talked about my upcoming group cleanse starting October 6th. And I also have a private cleanse, which you can make your own dates. And I also have my educational program, the Daily Habits for Holistic Health program. This is great if you just want to study by yourself. And it's a 28-day online self-paced program with the objective to help you live in tune with the circadian rhythm and lots of education on how to become your own healer. So if you have any questions on my services before you book, take advantage of my free 15-minute online services inquiry call. We can hop on Zoom and I can answer all of your questions. If you think that this episode will be helpful to others, please share it with them so we can spread this Ayurvedic wisdom. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, please do so. And the weekly episodes will automatically download for you. If you're getting benefit from this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you would share with others you think may be interested and give a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast, because this will help others find this great Ayurvedic information. You can find me on social media, on Facebook under Elements Healing and Wellbeing, and on Instagram under my new Instagram page, Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. So please join me on my new Instagram page. Thanks so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.